So in this segment, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about Matt Hancock and the redacted contracts. We're going to be talking about continuing legal battles against some of the contracts the government has given out. We're going to be talking about how the government got the civil servants to break the law. We're going to be talking about masks being recalled. And we're also going to be talking about Matt Hancock lying about no national shortage of PPE. So there's a lot of topics to go through. So let's just go through them as quickly as possible. So campaigners have challenged Boris Johnson's assertion that pandemic contracts have been openly published, pointing out that the documents even hide the colour of surgical gowns. And maybe the reason they've done that is to make it harder to figure out which gowns came from which companies. The Prime Minister brushed aside repeated accusations of a lack of transparency yesterday after the Health Secretary was found to have acted unlawfully by not releasing COVID contracts within a 30-day deadline. That's Matt Hancock, by the way, and he would do it again if he could. A legal campaign group has pointed out that while documents are being posted online, vast amounts of details that would allow the public to assess whether the contracts were delivered have been blacked out. So in one £98.7 million pound PPE contract, the quantity, unit price, measurements and colour of gowns intended to protect the NHS from COVID is redacted, and that's down here. Oh crap. That's why I don't like all these ads, because I can't click on anything. So it's down here is one of the redacted ones. So a black square has been imposed over a grid to hide the details, including the length, chest size and belt specifications for the garments, on the grounds that it is personal and commercially sensitive information. Under the labelling and instructions for use specifications, 2 entire boxes are blacked out. The available information shows the contract began in June 2020 after the Department for Health and Social Care selected China National Instruments Import and Export Group Corporation to supply the gear. It is one of the several deals struck with the Beijing-based company as the government scrambled to ensure rapid supplies of PPE for the health service amid the health crisis. But the thing was, June was after the first wave. So, and we know that they bought so much PPE that they don't even know where half it is now, or vast amounts of it is. Because that's how much they bought. The Good Law Project argues that pricing information would not be sensitive on commercial grounds in normal times, let alone during the pandemic when fluctuations are unlikely to be repeated and there is a public interest to see how vast sums of money are being spent. And so basically what they're saying here is, why are you hiding the information? It's in the public's interest to know how much these items of PPE cost. So Gemma Abbott, legal director of the Good Law Project, told metro.co.uk, Johnson repeated ad nauseum that all the contracts are on record, but many remain unpublished, and those that have been published are heavily redacted. So that's a job for journalists to ask Boris Johnson about. And you can also print out a copy of the contract and hand it to him, or have it passed on to him and say, or show it to him and say, look, what's with all the black markings, friend? It seems that the government has applied a blanket policy of removing pricing information, which makes it impossible to work out if the contracts, many of which went to individuals linked to the Tory party, were value for money, and that's possibly one of the reasons why it took so long to actually publish these contracts, because it wasn't mainly a cut and paste job, it was a redact all the pricing because we don't want anyone to know anything about these products. For whose benefit are the prices redacted? Certainly not the public's. So Matt Hancock acted unlawfully by failing to publish details of billions of pounds worth of PPE. So most of this is stuff we've covered before. So yeah, so we'll move on here. We keep fighting. This is from the Good Law Project. So we are pleased to tell you that our court has granted a cost capping order in our judicial review over the award of huge PPE contracts without advertisement or competition to Pestfix, a pest control company. These are companies we've talked about before. Apart from Clanday Boy, we have not spoken about them. A confectionery wholesaler, we have not spoken about them too much. And obviously Iunda Capital, which is based in a tax firm. And so basically the government tried to price out the Good Law Project by saying that if the Good Law Project lose, they have to pay £1 million out to cover the government's legal fees. But that's been taken down to 250,000, which is still a lot of money. So if you want to help the Good Law Project, I'll leave the link in the description if you want to donate. So civil servants were asked to break the law for the convenience of number 10 special advisors. So this is from the Good Law Project. emails read to the High Courts yesterday that civil servants in the Department of Health and Social Care were asked unlawfully to delay meeting their obligations to publish procurement contracts to meet the convenience of number 10 special advisors. The public contracts regulations require the government to comply with its legal obligation to publish contracts within 30 days. Internal emails dated 2nd of October showed that the government's commercial office understood it had breached the obligations, and in light of the Good Law Project's judicial review, wanted to rectify the situation at the earliest opportunity. However, later that day, a request was made by an unnamed DHSC civil servant to delay publication of contracts until the week commencing of the 12th of October. Another civil servant responded with, "We are in legal breach as we are already in breach. I would rather we publish as soon as possible. If press offices do not want to delay, it would be a good idea to set out the reasons for that in a short note, but adding it needs to go on number 10 grid." And so what you can see here is that, it looks, by the way, that special advisors asked the civil servants to delay the publishing of the contracts. Why, we don't know. It could be for political reasons, for optics reasons, or it could be because they wanted all this information redacted. On the following Monday, the reply came out that the delay was needed to allow number 10 special advisor PO, I don't know who that is, and policy enough time to be slighted and given full opportunity to comment if needed. This was the rationale for pushing it to the 12th of October. The contracts were eventually published in the week commencing the 12th of October, including £310 million worth of contracts controversially awarded to Pesfix specialist Chris Website Limited, trading as Pesfix. So a Chris company got a contract. So, the full summary of yesterday's judicial review can be found here, and we will update you on the judgment as soon as we receive it. So, this one's already done. I believe, this one's already done. So the government were found to have acted unlawfully here. We keep going. So Matt Hancock criticised for never claiming there was a national shortage of PPE. That's something I think we've talked about in the past, a few days ago. So there was a shortage of PPE. I don't know why he's lying about this. It took a while for Gavin Williamson to admit that the government broke the law. Taxpayer. This is about the the government trying to defend their position here from the Good Law Project. And that the government is going to cost about £1 million. That's how much they're saying that the legal fees are going to cost. That's £1 million for taxpayers' money, because the government wants to defend its position on giving money to Conservative Party donors and friends. Taxpayers were picking up the cost of these 12 lawyers, and the government was ordered to pay our costs limited to 75% too. So the government, not only did it have to pay out for its lawyers during the hearing it lost, it's going to have to pay for the new lawyers that they need, and it's going to have to pay 75% of the costs of the Good Law Project as well. And this is taxpayers' money, by the way. So, and we also found out that Matt Hancock took nearly 3 times the legal limit to publish COVID-19 contracts. So the government claimed the average delay in publishing contracts was about a fortnight. In fact, by November, the average time was 78 days, almost 3 times the 30-day limit. So we found out that Matt Hancock lied when he said that the average delay was about 14 days over the legal limit. Is about 78 days. So Matt Hancock, being the ultimate fraud he is, blatantly lied. And we go to our final piece, which is about 1 million high-grade NHS masks withdrawn over safety concerns. So 1 million high-grade masks used in the NHS may not meet safety standards and have been withdrawn. The Department of Health told the BBC that there are 1.12 million of these masks either in use or in hospitals, or in hospital stores, and has told staff to stop using them. So is this the credit Matt Hancock wants for his team for buying again masks that are apparently not fit for use? Again, I don't know. I don't understand this guy. Like, why are you asking for credit for? All you're going to do is get more ire from the public, or hopefully so, because you've proved yourself to just be a massive fraud when it comes to this stuff. And that's a great picture there. That's thumbnail worthy, that is, because you've got heavy redactions. Why are these things redacted? Why won't you tell us the truth about how much these things cost? If you can support the Good Law Project, go for it. If you can donate or anything like that, please feel free to do so. I'll leave the link in the description. But what more can you say apart from the fact that Matt Hancock's a massive fraud? He's gotten civil servants to break the law. He's claiming there's no PPE shortage when we know there was. Also, the fact that he's still being taken to court over the over the contracts given out to these three companies. And if the Good Law Project win here, which hopefully they do, that might open the door for more contracts to be looked at. And the fact that the government are saying that their legal costs are about £1 million, which is just crazy. They're trying to price out the Good Law Project out of this case essentially, shows you how callous this government are and the tactics that they want to use against the public. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.